Content warning, this episode is gross and we talk about vore.
Hello everyone, welcome to Word Funk. I am Leon Thomas. I am joined by Austin Yorsky and Johnny Maloney. We're all here on time this week. I feel good. I feel good about this. I feel like that's a solid omen. Guys, what have you been up to? Let's get it right out of the gate. Like whatever great, amazing stuff has been going on in your worlds. I want to hear about it right now.
Leon, how many comments have you got since last week of people telling you that "Booyah" is Cyborg's catchphrase?
I let one go through. We didn't need to keep repeating it.
So yeah, but there's a whole folder now. There's a separate spam folder just for that one.
Yeah, everyone was like, "I can't wait to say this, guys." First of all, like, thank you. That's good information to have. But here's the thing: it in no way makes it any better. Okay, it really, really doesn't. Okay, this very stoic, like, frankly boring character throughout the movie suddenly looking up to the sky to say "Booyah" is not, like, enhanced by the fact that a cartoon unrelated version of the character once said "Booyah" or said it many times. It doesn't.
I mean, Leon, your entire critique of the film Justice League hinged on that scene. So it kind of undoes everything you said last week.
It really does. Now I give it 5 stars because Teen Titans existed, apparently. All right. I mean, fair cop. I didn't know that about Cyborg going in. But here's the thing about that, everyone. That was true of a lot of people in the audience. So for most of us, we just saw this dude look very sincere and earnest and say "Booyah," and it was bad. It's not. I understand it's like a callback for, like, but here's as Easter eggs go, like for the older fans. It doesn't work. An Easter egg is like something like, oh yeah, I get it. That's a little wink it's something that in no way affects anything that's happening on camera, but like the big fans will notice it, and that's kind of cute for them. This was like right in my face. This dude saying "Booyah," and it was terrible.
He booyah'd my whole face. My whole face got booyah'd.
It was very booyah.
I mean, I watched Teen Titans when I was younger, and I didn't remember that, so I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Who knows? In a way, it's my fault, too, because I let you say that thing.
It's fine. No, I'm glad it went unchecked. Now we get to have a conversation about it again.
Because God knows we need content. Nothing's going on in the world.
Yeah.
Christ.
Gosh.
Johnny, did you see American Gods news? It looks like Brian Fuller's out. He just informed the cast today that although he has written the second season, he will not be around to make it.
Really?
This literally just came over the wire.
What's going on, Brian? Talk to me.
I know.
Like, talk. Like you jumped out of Star Trek Discovery. American Gods is out now. Like, are you feeling okay, buddy? Do you need a hug? What's going on?
It feels more like he was pushed out.
Yeah, it was
Star Trek.
creative and budget differences, which is vague, but it definitely feels like he perhaps wanted to be more ambitious. That's my read on it.
I just can't understand for the life of me why, when you want Brian Fuller, and you get Brian Fuller, it's like, this is like fucking Mulholland Drive, right? Because Mulholland Drive was originally supposed to be a TV show. So, the studio executives were like, we want David Lynch! And then they got David Lynch, and they were like, we didn't want David Lynch! So, like, I am disappointed. Austin, do you have any happy news? I'm having a sad, is what I'm having. I'm not having a very good week.
I don't know if I have any good news, but we'll see.
Like on Sunday, we packed up a bunch of Stephanie's stuff and like moved it out. So now like my apartment's looking like half empty and shit like that, and I'm having a sad. Leon, have you got good news?
Yeah.
Tell me something good, Leon.
A bunch of more people are perverts, as it turns out.
That's not good.
No, here's the thing, though. It's not good that they're perverts, but it's good that we learned it. Like, I am all about this pervpocalypse. Like, I'm all about, like, learning, like, oh, you're all terrible. That way
we call it
we can...
the perv?
Jesus.
That was good. It took me a second. We can.
It's a pervgrum.
All right, listen. The point is, I'm not happy that any of this happened, of course, but I always kind of assume that all kinds of like shit like this is happening because guys are gross.
Yep.
But now everyone's like, hey, the dynamics have changed in such a way that I can actually talk about this in public and people will be understandable and understand what's going on. And now everyone's just saying, yeah, this guy did all this shit and that guy did all that shit. And I'm all about it because now we can just ignore all these people and get them out of our lives. Not all of them, because apparently Johnny Depp still is getting work. But a lot of people are like, yeah, we're just going to replace you in a movie completely or just not hire you again.
The more that there are consequences for these things and they're very public and just, set an example, the more second thoughts those kind of people will have in the future. You can never eliminate them probably, but the more we can make it a bad career move, maybe if that's the only fucking thing they understand as far as incentives go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I'm excited
it's
about
still, I mean, as far as good news goes, that's kind of stretching the definition of where it's like, hey, congratulations, we're a lot less tolerant of scummy behavior, which is still happening probably in just record numbers. And
Probably, but I'm pleased about the consequences because in my mind, like, so much stuff just never gets checked, and the fact that they're actually, I'm seeing consequences to people's actions. It's like, it's kind of amazing. It's not across the board, but it's something, and I'm pleased at that. I'm trying to think of like really good news that has happened.
I have some good news. Our listener, Josephina Vineyard, I always mess that name up, sent me a Wikipedia link and a picture of a very, very large rabbit. Apparently it's called a Flemish giant rabbit, and they're like the size of dogs, because last week I talked about animals that I would want to be bigger. And so apparently the universe answered that prayer retroactively. So Flemish giant rabbits exist, and they are enormous, and apparently they're pretty sociable. Like, they're not, like, very scary, like all the other rabbits. So that's a cool thing I learned. That's a good news, guys. There's a big, nice bunny.
All right.
that is a big bunny.
All right. Well, that's good.
You scoping them? You peeping them?
Yep. I'm peeping it right now.
You should
It
peep
popped up
that.
on my time.
Got some eyes on those ears.
Yeah, they're very good. So I watched a thing. I think I only really have one big thing to talk about this week. I don't know if we're there in our agenda so far this week, but I do have a thing. Did anybody want to jump in front of me first?
No, go ahead. I'm fine.
Fine?
I don't have anything. I'm just I'm sad. I'm miserable.
Oh,
Okay. I'm going to try to cheer you up, Johnny. I saw a television adaptation of Jean-Paul Sartre's No Exit.
ooh. Okay.
It's very good.
What television is this? I mean, like, who was responsible for making it? Because television adaptation, is this like, are we talking BBC or like PBS?
Let me
or
check. I'm checking who made it. NBC ran this. It's called The Good Place.
Oh,
Oh. Okay.
that's funny.
Thanks for the fucking affirmation, Johnny. That was a very highbrow joke, and I was very proud of it.
It really was. There were twists, there were turns. I did not see what was coming at the end there, and you just you laid it on me. I was surprised. That was fun. Let's do it again.
Okay, so The Good Place is what I heard about it before going in was that it's a surprisingly good comedy and that there is a twist. That's all I really knew going in, and the fact that there is a twist kind of changed how I watched it because I very quickly figured it out, which is why I made the theater reference. If you don't get it, don't look it up because it spoils the twist. But the show is about someone who like has recently died. Like the first scene is they wake up in heaven, aka the good place, and there are like all kinds of like world building rules they have to get used to, and there's all these like peculiarities about the heaven in this universe, and like shenanigans ensue essentially, right? It's an NBC comedy. I could definitely see why people didn't take this show particularly seriously, but like a lot of TV these days, I'm thinking specifically of like Steven Universe and Gravity Falls and stuff. It's like it starts with like basically disconnected jokes, like a normal sitcom, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, where'd that narrative momentum come from? Oh my god, there's a story. Oh god, we're doing stuff. And it's just like it really does the Steven Universe thing well, where it's just like all these episodes kind of seem self-contained and fun, but not like they're really building to anything, but then it does. And they're very self-contained in a good, like, very... I actually had this thought, this show's very Renegade cut, where, like, every episode is, like... It starts with a lecture, right? Because one of the characters is an ethics teacher. So, like...
That is what I do.
Yeah, they're like, so let's talk about utilitarianism. And then it's just like, let's do a story, a funny comedy story, sitcom story about utilitarianism. It's just like, they're basically Renegade cutting their own
God damn
sitcom.
No, get out of my... No, it's my thing.
Yeah, so
I suddenly hate this show.
I think you
they?
would like it, Leon. I think
Yeah.
it coexists in a space that you've created that just like...
I don't know.
I'm
a very envious beast, but okay.
It wears a lot of simultaneous hats. It's a situational comedy about people in heaven, which is fine. I mean, the writer on it is Megan Amram. I think I'm pronouncing it right. Who I only knew from Twitter. I thought she was just like a funny Twitter person, but apparently she's like one of the writers on the show. Which is cool.
She's a regular funny person too.
Yes, she has a whole job and a life and like interests and everything. So it's just like a funny sitcom, and then it has like actual literary elements where it's like, oh, look what they're doing with these philosophies, these theories. It's very Renegade cut, and then it's like, oh, there is a story too. Like a lot of comedies, we've talked about this before because Leon, you've expressed that you're not really crazy about comedy films because they're just kind of
I don't love them.
Yeah.
I like some of them.
They don't have like what you go to the medium for, but I feel like The Good Place and Steven Universe, Gravity Falls, stuff like that, they've kind of brought them together. I think comedy is in a really cool place, especially on TV, but everywhere, and it does all that stuff. So I watched the first season. That's what's on Netflix. Apparently, there's a second one airing right now. I'm not caught up to that.
And they have been renewed for a third as well. So.
Good.
We're getting more Good Place, which is good. That's good news. I can get behind that. That show makes me happy.
It's a good show. It's very funny. It's very thoughtful, very kind. It has a lot going on. One of my favorite things about it is there's the character who's kind of soul conceit after things about them are revealed because they have like a gimmick, and then once that's over with, the new joke is they're from Florida, and all the comedy stems from that. And more specifically, they're from Jacksonville, Florida, which has like its own culture. My roommate's from Jacksonville, and like there's all these like very good Jacksonville in jokes, including one part where he throws something and yells "Bortles," which is Blake Bortles is the quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and before seeing the show, I do that to him all the time. Like, we're in the kitchen and I'll throw something in the trash can and be like, Bortles? Like, I have no idea why they have an inside joke of mine with my roommate in this television show. And to my knowledge, that is not a thing that pre-exists myself.
That's just how inclusive it is, Austin.
Yeah. It very much captures the Florida experience where they're like, man, we got to make something of ourselves. Maybe go to Gainesville or something, which is like a shitty nothing swamp town with like one thing in it, which is the University of Florida. And it's just like, that's the height of aspiration for someone in Jacksonville. It's just very fucking good. So I talked for like 10 minutes about that. I liked it a lot, and it's I can't recommend it highly enough. I'm trying to think if I have any criticism literally at all. I can't think anything I didn't like.
I honestly can. I don't think there's a thing about the show that I don't like. The cast is super strong.
Yeah, very diverse. They have a lot.
Sorry.
Basically, they have someone from like basically every kind of inclusive thing you could want.
Yeah,
That's neat.
and it's
So-
just they have fun with it. That is one of the things that I'm always there's always this ineffable quality when you see people having fun making something. You know, like you can tell that the people making Guardians of the Galaxy are having fun when they do it. You know, there's a love in it, right? And I get that from The Good Place as well. They are having fun. And it just it translates really well. It feels like you're in on the joke, you know, instead of somebody just telling you something funny that you're like a part of it. It's weird. I don't know how to describe it, I guess.
I know what you're saying. There's like a camaraderie to it that you like feel like you're being invited to kind of join in on. Also, speaking of fun, I really have to say that Adam Scott's character, Ben Wyatt from Parks and Rec, is playing against type in a way that you could just see the glee on his face is so fucking genuine that he gets to be that guy. Like the first thing he does when he gets on screen is like walk up to a female character and go, "Why don't you smile more?" And it's like it's so deliciously villainous with like one line. You're just like, holy shit! He could have murdered someone and it would have been less shitty. That's good. Fuck. So yeah, The Good Place. Watch it.
Yes,
I'm done now.
Yeah.
do. It's good. It's fun.
Cool.
Leon, your turn. To talk.
I feel better now.
Yeah.
That makes me feel good that Austin enjoyed The Good Place. I like that.
Yeah.
You guys are my friends. This is good. So what else have you been up to?
I tried to pass the ball there. No one took it. Are you guys rejecting my ball passing?
I literally have not done anything this week. You know, like I haven't been sleeping well, and just like I've never broken up with anybody like this, right? This like weird little slow incremental death of my social situation, you know, and yeah, I couldn't sleep on Saturday night, and then on Sunday, Stephanie and Stephanie's mom came over, and we just packed up a bunch of shit and like put it in the back of their Jeep and drove it away, and now there's like, I don't know, my walls are bare because there's like 2 little picture nails just like sitting in the wall now that are just kind of like, what am I gonna put there? Because it looks, I don't know. I just wish this would all be over, you know? Like I'm done with it. I don't want to do this anymore.
That's a very 2017 feel.
Yeah.
I want this all to be over.
Yeah, I just want to blink and then be like, oh, geez, that was a really difficult time 5 years ago. But like, and at the same time, you know, like I'm trying to do all these, like, I have a date on Saturday. I've got another date on Saturday, and this is ridiculous. I am going to an ice cream shop. But not like a Baskin Robbins or like a Marble Slab Creamery or whatever the hell they're called or something like that. I mean like a locally owned like soda jerk where they have like root beer floats and pie and like banana splits.
Artisanal shit.
And yeah, you know, it's like, so I'm going to meet Terry. Mm-hmm. Terry and I are going to go have some... I think I'm going to have a root beer float, but... I don't know for certain. Don't hold me to that.
Yeah,
right?
I love you, Johnny. The way you approach life, I wouldn't even have thought of what I would be ordering until literally I was at the counter, and you're like,
That would be the only thing I'd be interested in.
"See, we all function so differently."
They are they're fantastic. It's this place. It's called. Let me look it up here. Let me look it up. Okay.
Okay, look it up.
It is called. Where are you? It is called Glenburn Soda Fountain and Confectionery.
That will be $100 for the product placement.
But
Just make that check out to wordfunk at wordfunk.com.
They have egg creams, you guys.
I'm not 100% certain what that is.
Nobody is. I don't think anybody knows what an egg cream is, but they have them. Here, I'm going to look up what an egg cream is.
It's just like a bad milkshake, right?
It's chocolate. It's what do you call it? Chocolate soda. That's all.
Oh, okay.
They call them that in the North. They call them egg creams. In the South, they call them chocolate soda.
Do you know what a double awful is? Because they have those as well,
not.
and I'm not sure what that is. What's a double awful? Anyways, yeah. So I'm going to like this ridiculously fucking like David Lynchian fucking soda a week after I moved all my partner's shit out of my apartment. And what the fuck am I doing, you guys? I don't know.
I don't know either, but I'm on the egg cream Wikipedia page, and apparently in 1980, someone made 110 gallons of egg cream to set the world record. Also, in Indonesia, they are known as happy sodas. So,
okay, I have this like I just got this really, really super complicated fucking like flowchart now.
Yeah.
Of how to tell the difference between like all of your so this is too much. I'm like I can't do this. Anyways, maybe I'll have a double awful. I don't know.
Johnny, when you were saying about how you wish 2017 was over, it reminded me of an Onion headline that I just found. Which is, I can't do this anymore. Think 320 million Americans quietly going about their day.
Pretty much, yeah. I just, God. I want this to be over with, you know?
Yeah.
I really do. It's just, it's too much right now. It's all getting too much. And it's like, it's completely interfering with, like, every single thing in my life. Like, eating. God. I mean, come on. How bad does it have to get where you just, like, your life messes up your eating? I just want a sandwich. Or two. Like, that's not too much to ask, is it?
I don't know. I've been on that tooth train for a bit here, and I've gotten in a real soupy mood. Just trying to direct the flow.
I'm sorry. I'm like... I'm such a grump these days, you guys. And
I'm suggesting
tired.
to you that if you can't eat a sandwich because of your sadness, have you tried other foods? Maybe mix it up? Have you tried just, like, some crazy textures to just, like, fuck up your whole scene?
Well, this weekend I'm going to try a double awful, and we'll see where that gets me.
Okay. Now I have to Google this. I feel like I was negligent. I should have done this earlier. Double awful.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what a double awful is.
Apparently there's a flow chart involved.
Yeah, that's what I found at the kitchen.
Oh yeah, I'm there. There's no E. Why is there no E in the kitchen? What the fuck? This is bad. It also doesn't answer anything.
Okay, I found a post. All right, so check this out. Check this shit out. Okay, This is apparently the owner of Glenburn Soda with a double awful root beer float, and I gotta tell you, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it does look good. It kind of looks like a milkshake. Although, someone took a picture of this guy and posted it on the internet, like, check this motherfucker out, which is interesting. Okay, hold on. I found a Reddit post. Hold on. Let's go. I'm trying to figure out. God, the internet is just so much. It's so difficult. It's a combination of flavored soda and ice cream, similar to a float, but blended like a milkshake. Whatever that means. Yeah. It's a blend of flavored syrup and ice milk. Two different drinks, basically. So,
All right,
So,
I think I'll come back next week with a review of the Double Awful. But like, I googled Double Awful, and like the fifth result is 6 awful things I learned surviving a double homicide.
I was going to totally bring that up in a second. Yeah, it's a cracked article. I just want to know about this weird milkshake egg cream guy. Why are you going to make this so dark?
Talk to me about your sugary sweets. I don't want to know about like double homicide stuff. I mean, I do, yes, but maybe later.
Yeah. Dark stuff has been a whole problem with this show for a while. This year's been dark, and all my law classes have been very dark. I'm trying to steer us in, but it always comes back to it.
Oh, I watched a show that was fun.
Ooh.
I finished the first season of Little Witch Academia.
Nice.
I'm not sure I have like a deep dive into it. I just thought it was pretty and cute. I can tell I really care about the characters because when one of the rich guys was flirting with Lotte, I was like, no. You get away from her, you old money fuckboy. No, she is a good girl and she is focused on her studies. But he seems okay. I don't know. We'll see how season 2 goes. I'm not sure how much I should say that's just spoilers. But I dig it. I like it. The character reveal of the character who's actually 2 characters. I was like, I suspected. So that was fun for me. That's it. But no, it's a good show. I enjoy it. It's on Netflix right now, so there's no reason not to watch it.
There's literally no reason.
Right. I just mean it's like super like convenient and accessible. It's like right there. So do that, everyone. Do that and tell me how much you like it in the comments, because I don't think we've talked about it much. But I'm into it. I like that in addition to it just being kind of cute, there's like a cool like narrative that I'm sort of into, and I don't know entirely what's going to happen, and that's nice for, a show that's basically for children. I'm into it. And apparently after finish the second season, there's talk of like being more. So that's nice. I'm glad I'm not just going to like run through it and be like, oh, I like these characters. And there's apparently going to be more. So I'm jazzed.
How would you feel if Akko saved the day, defeated the bad guy, and as the bad guy exploded, she said, "Booyah."
I would burn the TV.
Even if she did it in Cyborg's voice, you don't think that
would be worse?
Oh.
So much worse.
I thought it'd be pretty good.
I like Susie. I'm not sure what to call her though, because like in like the season finale, they had to do a ritual where they were going to be eaten by a huge ghost, and she was all excited for it.
Yeah.
I was like, is Susie into vore?
Listen,
Is
don't
that
yuck
what's
her yum. What did you...
Look, I'm just saying that's what that is. But okay. I mean, cool. I like the episode. I think my favorite episode was when we were inside Susie's brain. Yeah, that was cool. I enjoyed that. That's it. That's basically what's going on with that show.
Yeah,
I could say more, and the rest is just spoilers that I'm trying to like skirt around. You should watch it, everyone. It's fun. Even for me, a guy who doesn't really watch a lot of anime, I was into it.
You have exacting anime standards.
I do.
So speaking of vore,
I always love it when conversations start with this.
yeah, it's the most stereotypical conversation starter. It's the classic icebreaker. But you brought up vore, and I was glancing over the questions, and the word jumped out to me. So I would like to transition now into a question. We can get back to other topics, but it's just too perfect. I'm going to say Knifer, Nifer, on Twitter asks, how do I get my brother to forgive me for exposing his being into vore to our parents?
Oh.
This is that classic shit. I keep asking people to give us that juicy fucking drama on these questions. This is what I wake up in the morning for.
Oh man.
Okay. Are there any more details, or is that just that it's a tweet and that's it?
Correct. Everything I read you was the full tweet.
Okay. I'm sorry, but I'm on your brother's side on this one. Why would you do that to someone? I'm sorry. Like, if it were me, I would be like relationship over.
This is like some baby shoes never worn shit, because it definitely paints this broader picture. And you can imagine the whole thing. It's so scrumptious.
I am not down with kink shaming.
Yeah, it's not cool. All right, it would help if we knew how old these people were, because if these are people who are like minors, if they are children and they were telling their parents, then that's like, this is unfortunate kid stuff and they shouldn't have done it, but probably they'll grow up and realize that as children they weren't even real people yet. So fuck, like screw everything you did as a kid. It doesn't matter. Your brains weren't even formed. But if you were both like adults, and by adults I mean like, if you were old enough to join the army, you're an adult. That's it.
If you're old enough to get swallowed whole by someone in a sexual manner, that is what vore is, right? I'm never 100% sure.
None of this crap. Like, never mind. I'm sorry. Sorry to like deviate. I hate when some like 20-year-old does like the most horrible, heinous shit, and then someone says, they're just a kid. Nah, they're not. They can vote. Fuck them. But anyway, not the point. The point is this.
Oh my God! Vore has a Wikipedia page. Go on. Hold on.
I'm sorry. I'm just like I'm doing a real deep dive into these Sundays here.
Yeah.
Some of these look really good.
All right. I mean, I would go just for the Sunday. But anyway, the point is, what you can do. It depends. If you were children when this happened, your brother will probably just kind of get over it, because you sort of do when you grow up. Eventually, you realize that the stuff that you did as kids barely counts. And I'm sorry if that's kind of shitty. I'm not saying it doesn't affect what you become as an adult, because it definitely does. I just mean it becomes less and less important when you think back on high school drama and things like that. But if this happened recently and you are both adults, what can you do? Here's like a crazy idea. Actually ask your brother, like, apologize and say, what can I do to make this right? Like, and I.
But what if he says, swallow me?
Well, that's incest.
No, it's not. It's just cannibalism.
It's a little incest.
I'm glad we could draw that line right here. That's not incestuous. Yeah. It's just cannibalism.
I'm so disappointed that the picture on the vorophilia Wikipedia page is in portrait and not landscape, so we can't use it for the YouTube
I'm sorry.
picture.
Are we all on a website? Do I have to be on this website? What is it called again?
No, it's just the Wikipedia entry for vore.
I'm just looking at pictures of ice cream sundaes right now.
Okay. Johnny's on his own show.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize. I thought we were all... Okay, I'm going to vorophilia on Wikipedia right now to look more into this. Oh gosh. Oh my.
It's like,
yeah, interactive podcast time. Everyone go to vorophilia on Wikipedia. The picture is tiny. All right, here's my question. Either tiny girls about to be swallowed by a regular sized person, or regular sized girls about to be swallowed by a giant person.
Well, the picture is called Dealing with Bullies. So I believe the fantasy is those are normal-sized bullies from school, and the person who was bullied has grown into a giant and is now going to eat them.
Oh.
That's my read on it.
So this is partly a revenge fantasy. Okay.
Yeah, there's a deep pathology here.
I'm just saying, like, there's a lot going on in this picture. One of them has dropped a can of soda or something.
Yeah,
it's like, they were obviously in the middle of having a good time, and you had to ruin it by being vore.
What? It's just, there's so much going on. It's just like such a rich fiction. I also like how it's not quite sexual. Like the person in the front has like some posing that might be a little sexual, but it's not overt. Like you could post this like somewhere and people would be like, something's fucked up about that, but I can't quite put my finger on it if they don't know what vore is. And like that piece of the puzzle is so fucking crucial.
I wonder what people who are into this sort of thing think about Attack on Titan. Like, is that their show?
Yeah. Well, I mean, one assumes, but I don't want to make assumptions because I'm sure. Like, okay, I know we're fucking playing chicken with kink shaming right now, but
yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to I'm not trying to kink shame anyone. So long as this doesn't hurt anyone, I can't say shit.
I think the physically impossible kinks might be ideal, right? Because if you literally can't do them, then
yeah. Apparently, vore, according to the page, is different from sexual cannibalism, so it's not a thing that can happen. So please understand, like, if you are listening to this and for whatever reason you are into vore, please understand that me laughing at this is not laughing at you, it is laughing at this picture.
Yeah, sexual
it
cannibalism.
It is a very good picture.
Sexual cannibalism is that that German guy, he put a Craigslist ad to eat somebody. Rammstein made a song about it. You guys are aware?
Yeah.
Oh. I'm not aware of that.
I know all about this one.
Yeah.
Oh gosh,
Johnny, do you want to recount? It's kind of a famous story.
Well, as I recall, it basically it was a guy. I think he had placed an ad that he wanted to be eaten. I think that was it. And somebody took him up on that.
Oh. How much?
I don't think the guy died.
Oh.
But they had this
good.
plan basically about how he was going to just sort of like over the course of a year just like gradually feed himself to this dude.
I remember only a couple details from this, but I really think in my mind, I hope this is true, is that at some point they tried to cook someone's penis. And that's the thing that's always stuck in my mind. Is so like they went for it, right? Like they didn't fucking pussyfoot. They didn't dip a toe in the sexual cannibalism. Like they did the damn thing.
No, he did die.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'll kink shame that.
Yeah.
I think we're all comfortable
kink
kink shaming
technician
that.
who achieved international notoriety for killing and eating a voluntary victim whom he had found via the internet. After he and the victim jointly attempted to eat the victim's severed penis, Muse killed his victim and proceeded to eat a large amount of his flesh. Yeah.
Oh, so they went against the deal. I mean, if you can't trust a sexual cannibal.
No, he's voluntary. He found someone on the internet. He's like, hey, I want to try eating you. Or does that sound like you?
Yeah, but...
Likes cannibalism, dislikes not cannibalism.
So Muse post stated that he was looking for a well-built 18 to 30-year-old to be slaughtered and then consumed.
Oh, he did say in the Craigslist that you will be killed.
Yeah,
correct.
And then an engineer from Berlin burned Jürgen Armando Brandes, answered the advertisement in March 2001. Many other people responded to the advertisement, but backed out.
Why? I'm sorry to we've definitely gone to Gross Town, but since we're here, we might as well stay.
Just that's how it works.
Why did the person who, voluntary or not, is the victim? Why did this person want this to happen if they knew they were going to die? Was this like, y'all got to go sometime, so I might as well this?
Okay, so there's a couple different factors. One is that they met on a website called The Cannibal Cafe, parentheses, a blog site for people with cannibal fetishes. So that was probably helpful. Also, there's literally not a single thing your mind could conceive of that someone hasn't thought, that might make me hard. Like someone somewhere has definitely thought everything is sexy at some time. So I am
right, but I'm saying like the victim might have thought, this will be hot, but then I will die.
Sometimes you got to go the distance to get that nut.
I guess I'm just really glad that never mind.
Leon can't fucking can't empathize. He can't relate.
I would like to think that none of you can truly relate to this story.
No,
but
My favorite detail about this, and I just like it reads right here that Muse, the cannibal, ran Brandis a bath, comma, before going to read a Star Trek book, comma.
Oh,
like I just love that that's a detail that's in there.
Yeah.
Which one?
The fact that it was like a Star Trek book.
Yeah, which one? I gotta know. Is it canon?
Yeah, I mean, come on. Like, what kind of book?
Yeah, so here's the detail that I kind of only half remembered earlier, was that Brandis initially insisted that Mue's attempt to bite his penis off. This did not work, and ultimately he had to use a knife to remove it, and then he fried it in a pan, but it was too burnt to be consumed.
Well, that's just a waste of a good penis right there.
Mm. Well, we don't know how good a penis it was, because let's be honest with ourselves, gentlemen. It is not the most handsome organ.
Okay. Also, all of this was filmed, by the way. None of that is public.
God.
But according to officials who saw the video, Brandis tried to eat some of his own penis, but it was too weakened from blood loss to go through with it. The burned penis.
Okay.
This episode's gonna need a content warning, but we're fucking in it, so.
Yeah. Like a retroactive disclaimer. Genuine apologies if it sounds like I'm making light of someone dying. I wasn't trying. I just didn't realize how far this went when we started this conversation. Yeah. Someone, getting eaten is not funny. We're struggling to make it funny, and we shouldn't.
Are we?
This is bad.
This is just journalism after a certain point. It was funny before when we were talking about just Thor in the abstract, but now it's just like this shit happened.
Okay. I'm becoming more and more uncomfortable as we go forward.
Leon,
we shouldn't have done this.
Leon, you have to be prepared. Because at some point, we're going to have to rise up and eat the rich. So I just need us all to be prepared for the psychic consequences.
I didn't think that was literal.
Look,
I didn't think that was literal.
You're all missing the moral of the story, right? And that is...
We must be.
Try to apologize to your brother.
Yeah, just read up this Wikipedia page. You'd be like, listen, motherfucker, it could be worse.
Okay. Seriously, never mind.
Put a content warning on the beginning. Just be like, there's some cannibalism talk.
God. Yeah, I just feel bad about myself.
You didn't do it?
Yeah, but I don't. It's hard to explain, but like the older I get, the more distance I am from like the way I used to be. The more it's hard to explain. The more I find like randos making jokes about someone dying to be like shitty, and I know we weren't trying to do that. I really do. Like, yeah, it's just shit. I didn't know this was happening, and then it did, and then it was all over me. we were just talking about a funny picture, and then this happened. I don't know what we did. I'm sorry. Yeah,
you have
I guess
such deep-seated guilt, Leon. Your Catholic guilt is so deep that somebody 20 years ago did a murder, and you feel bad about it.
I feel bad that I laughed. I shouldn't have.
Did we laugh at that part?
Terrible.
I know we laughed at the vore part, but I don't know if we laughed. I think I was just fascinated by the details of the case.
I know. I realize that like logically, but like there's always like a pit in my stomach that always tells me I'm bad. So anyway,
okay, that's quite a line.
There's always something in the pit of my stomach that tells me I'm bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's accurate. So anyway,
if it makes you feel any better, Leon, I similarly, I always feel like I'm a tremendous failure.
Okay.
So.
All right. This was fun.
What's-
So anyway,
Leon, if you want to talk about something cheerful, go right ahead.
Christmas is coming.
Fuck, that's a good ass transition.
It is. I have a list of 5 different Christmas specials I want to watch in December. Just off the, I wrote them down. There will be more, but those are some of them. I'm gonna. I don't want to get into those. I just want to say, like, I'm excited about lights and trees and stuff. I'm very excited. I didn't used to like Christmas.
Yeah. So as you get older, you feel guiltier and you get cornier. Cool.
Oh yeah. I'm definitely corny. I'm corn me up. Like, that's all there is to it.
Corn me up. Quotation, Leon Thomas, 2017.
Yeah. I already bought all your Christmas presents, by the way. I'll be shipping them out early in December. So that's fun. Let's see. What else am I doing for Christmas? I'm going to go look at God, what was it? Oh, I think there's a thing in the area where everyone just goes like balls out with their lights, and I'm going to drive around and watch and look at that, because that's like an overly wholesome thing that I like to do around this time of year. There's no joke. It's just genuinely what I'm like now. So that's fun for me. Let's see. That's about it for Christmas right now. I did all my shopping, so I'm pretty excited that I'm done with that before it's even December, so I don't have to worry about that. One of my friends.
I think our listeners should know, while we were talking about cannibalism, Johnny just put a picture of a banana split in our Skype chat. I think that's an important bit of context for everyone to keep in mind. Go ahead, Leon. Presents?
One of my friends is like saving up for something, so she was just like, "Give me just money," and I'm like, "That's fine." And I was like, "Woo, that's much easier." But now I'm like, now I want to get you something else as a surprise, and I have to think about what that's going to be. So I have to. That's the only thing I haven't figured out, because I'm technically done, but I feel like it's more fun if, in addition to just sending you the check so you can do the thing, there's also another thing. So that'd be cool. That'd be fun. That's it. Those are my Christmas thoughts so far. Expect a Christmas update every week until Christmas, and possibly forever after.
That's going to be really weird in March.
It is. It's going to be great, though. Oh, you're going to be so sick of it. That's what I got pretty much this week. I saw some movies. I'm not sure if I have like fun thoughts about them. I saw The Beguiled, which is Sofia Coppola's new movie. It was good, but it takes place during the Civil War in a southern, very fancy pants southern house, and they have slaves, but we never see them. Because there's like this throwaway line in the beginning of the film, like a child says it, so it seems innocent. The child just says, "The slaves are away," and that's all we hear about all of this during this Civil War movie. And I don't know, their absence is conspicuous, like just never seeing them is just like, this is weird. Like, are you purposefully avoiding this? Did you think this would muddy the thing you're trying to say? I don't know. It was a choice. It was a choice that Sofia Coppola made, and it was a strange one, in my opinion. I apparently am not the only one who thought this. So this might be old news to people who've already seen it. It was otherwise fine. It was kind of cool to see Nicole Kidman in 2 good movies this year, because that hasn't been a thing for a long time. And I'm not like bagging on her. I'm just saying, like, for whatever reason, she just hasn't picked the right projects. But this year she was in this movie, which I have complicated feelings about, but is mostly good. And she was also in The Killing of a Sacred Deer, which is great. So that's cool. I also saw a documentary called The Problem with Apu, which is about Apu Nahasapita Petalon and how people who are of Indian descent, or really just South Asian descent in general, feel about the character. And I knew that he was not beloved among that community, of course. You would assume that a broad caricature, a stereotype, that has somehow persisted because Simpsons has persisted, would not be well liked. But he is apparently despised, this character. And that makes sense. It's kind of shitty, especially considering, like, the show does stereotypes of, like, lots of ethnicities and all sorts, but back when The Simpsons started in, like, the 80s, there weren't a lot of recurring Indian characters on sitcoms or anything, really. So that was it in terms of representation, and that sort of makes it different than, say, the Italian chef stereotype in The Simpsons. So that was interesting food for thought. The whole, I mean, spoilers, but the whole movie, it's partly about that, but it's also like it's one of those documentaries that's about the making of the documentary, where the subject of the documentary is trying to get the voice actor, Hank Azaria, a white guy, to just have an interview with him, the comedian who was making this documentary, and, like, spoiler, he refuses. So interesting food for thought movie, and it's less than an hour, so if you can track it down, it's pretty easy to watch.
Speaking of food for thought, Leon, I haven't seen The Beguiled, but I saw an ad for it. And it's like a bunch of like famous ladies like walking around in this house and everyone being all ominous, and then there's like an ominous dinner scene, and I don't know a single damn thing about this movie, but when I saw that ad and all these people looking very serious faced around a dinner, I was like, are they about to eat somebody? I don't know what the movie's about, but I assume cannibalism, and I'm not just saying that because of the earlier conversation. That's an actual real thought I had.
Okay.
So,
I'm not, no spoilers. The dinner is important. The movie is not quite what you might imagine. I feel like if I were to, fuck it. Let me get into spoilers. It's not like everyone's like ducking the internet and like, oh, I gotta watch out for Beguiled spoilers. It's fine.
Gotta be careful out there.
Yeah. No. Skip ahead a couple of minutes if you don't want to hear this and you're planning on seeing it. Basically, it stars Nicole Kidman and Kirsten Dunst and Elle Fanning, and a few other young ladies, and they all live in this house because the men are off at war, and they live in this little house in Virginia. And Colin Farrell plays a northern soldier who stumbles around and he's hurt, and they take pity on him and bring him inside. And in the process of mending his wounds over the course of what I guess months, it feels like he like makes a pass at 3 different women, but it's not like Pride and Prejudice where it's like ooh, who shall be the suitor and that kind of thing. It's like he's showing sexual interest in 3 different women and very purposefully obfuscating that fact from the other 2. And the other women there are like children, so obviously not. But they are also enamored with him as well. So like the whole movie is about like these 5 women, 2 of which are just tots who love this guy. And in the end, he very explicitly says that he's in love with Kirsten Dunst, and they're like, oh, maybe we could be together after the war. I don't know who I was impersonating just then, and I'm sorry about that. I tried, but then there's a scene where he fucks Elle Fanning, and he's like, wait, you don't understand, and then he trips, and then he gets hurt again, and he becomes like shitty, I guess, and they decide to kill this dude because he's becoming a dangerous element in the household, and they super do. They poison him to death, and he dies, and that's it. I just spoiled the entire movie for him. It is good though. You should see it.
I saved everybody $8.
A movie I definitely will not spoil because I think it's one of the best movies of the year is 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Oh, you saw that?
Hell yes, it is amazing. I'm not going to say anything about it because I want everyone to go in fresh. I'm just going to say the cast is amazing because it has Sam Rockwell and Frances McDormand and Peter Dinklage and fucking Woody Harrelson and the guy, I can never remember his name because it's so weird, but he's in everything. I feel really shitty that I don't know it off the top of my head, but he is excellent in this as well.
This is Martin McDonagh's new movie, right?
Yeah, the guy who did Seven Psychopaths and in Bruges.
Yeah.
It was very. I love this movie very, very much. I don't want to say anything about it because it's full of a lot of narrative twists and interesting character development stuff. And just go see it. It's great. That's it. That's all I want to say about that. Good,
because I like to go to the movies alone again.
Yeah, I did too. I was like, I have 2 hours. You know, I can do whatever I want now. So I just did. It was fun. I enjoyed myself.
I bet somebody lost their job over that name.
Look, he wrote and directed it. He gets to do whatever he wants with the title. If you just called it 3 Billboards, it sounds kind of like, oh, like you don't get a sense of place about it. And I don't just mean because they mentioned the place, but there's something about the title that it really lets you know that you're in for some like Southern fried crime drama stuff about to happen. And it is. So
it's just like the anti SEO. Like it's just like I don't know where they got the money to make it with a name like that.
Okay. It's excellent.
Yeah, I mean the fucking cast is lit as fuck.
Yeah. God, it's so good. Anyway, I'll stop harping on this. We can do questions now if you want, unless you guys have something important you want to get to before that.
Do you know that I've got a friend who has a Krampus suit?
Neat. Is he Krampus? Oh, I'm sorry. Is she Krampus? I didn't mean to gender Krampus.
That's
Is she
I
Krampus?
didn't mean to gender Krampus.
No, I just like it, she apparently every year at Christmas she breaks out this fucking Krampus suit and does like holiday photos.
Oh. Thank you for sharing. Oh my god, it's so much worse than I thought. I thought it was going to be like jolly and funny, but no, it's terrifying.
Nope,
What is that?
I don't even know if that's Krampus. That's like Baphomet.
So, listeners, if anybody in the Portland area wants to have a photo with their kids with Krampus this year, get in contact with me, and I'll see if I can hook you up.
Oh my.
Yeah, a lot of visual elements. It's a very ocular episode. I apologize.
I hope everyone enjoys our radio show. Anyway, yeah. Thank you for that. I'm glad that happened. I'm
ready for questions.
Now do you want to do questions?
Yeah.
Yes.
The only other thing that happened
please.
this week was the Grammy nominations came out, and for some inexplicable reason, Jay-Z has been nominated in every category. And it's not like, his new album is bad, which it is. It's also like anti-Semitic, which was weird.
What?
There's just a line in the lead single about like how Jews controlled all the banks or something. And it's just like, Jay-Z, you are like the most famous, powerful person in this entire industry. I thought he was like torpedoing his own career, but not only was he not, apparently everyone loved it, and he's nominated for like 8 Grammys. I don't know.
Oh my god,
it's weird.
That's a lot. Now I can never listen to Jay-Z again. That's good.
It's gonna totally tank your listening habits. You're fucked now.
It does. Oh yeah.
Also, I mean, it's not good. But Gambino and Lamar have a ton of nominations. Redbone, Record of the Year, definitely. Probably one of the best songs ever produced, period. And, of course, Humble. So it's a pretty good mix. You got Queens of the Stone Age are nominated, Mastodon's nominated. It's good. I mean, as good as the Grammys can be, of course. Anyway, oh god, that Krampus picture jumped out at me. I tried to switch windows to get to the questions. It was just all Krampus.
Shit, I forgot. I went to go see Mogwai on the weekend.
How was
Oh,
that?
how'd that go?
It was awesome.
Good.
That was good. I enjoyed that. That was on Saturday night. I went and saw Mogwai at probably my favorite venue in Vancouver, the Commodore Ballroom. Because
Sounds
I've been
fancy.
a fan of Mogwai since fucking 1998 or whatever year it was that Come On Die Young got released. I think it's 1998, but 20, more or less 20 years essentially, right? And I've never been to see them live. Just never. So that was that was good. That was fun. That was something that I got to check off my bucket list. Was go, and they played Cody too, and a bunch of my other favorite songs as well. It was good, and I enjoyed that.
Great.
All right, so first question from Consumerist Skeleton, who asks, who's more daddy, Leon or Johnny? Parentheses, sorry, Austin.
It depends on what you mean. If you mean who is a sexier, older fellow, that's obviously Johnny. If you mean who looks older, it's definitely me. I don't know what your qualifications for how daddy someone is.
It's true, There's a lot of daddy criteria.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're looking for a daddy, then I would say it's Johnny.
Austin, what do you think?
Okay.
If you're looking for a photo of someone who just looks old, that's me.
I think Leon is more daddy, but Johnny is more daddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is actually a great way to put it.
Leon
Case
said
closed.
he would narc on his kids if they did drugs. He's like,
Yes, but Austin, I hate children, so I would hate my children too.
hey, spoilers, a lot of dads hate their kids.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's very daddy of you.
All right.
If it's not very daddy, because, daddies fulfill a number of fantasies. And some of that can be being good with children and doing household chores. I don't know. It depends on what you're into. I feel like Johnny could fulfill that. Maybe depending on his beard situation. How is that going, Johnny?
Did you see the photo, Austin?
Yeah, I mean, I saw the terror beard at the last. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's gone.
Okay.
Oh.
We took it off. That's
okay.
I hope we all learned our lesson.
But I think for some
why
people,
Johnny doesn't mess around with facial hair.
I think for some people the
I thought
beard
you looked
is an
good.
important element of being daddy, so you might have lost some daddy points.
Yeah, no, absolutely. If I'm gonna do daddy, it's got to be like a weird kind of 1950s sort of thing, like sweater vest and a pair of thick-rimmed glasses and
Yeah.
pipe. Yeah, like a walnut pipe or something like that.
If hair helps being daddy, I am the anti-daddy. So
Now, I mean, you could be a leather daddy though.
Yeah.
That's a different kind. It doesn't necessitate a certain hairdo.
Look, I think
Okay.
I think the important thing to walk away from in regards to this question is that between the three of us, we can fulfill all your daddy needs.
We're like
I'm talking clearance rates here, all right?
no.
Like the amount of daddy that we are offering is criminal at these low discounts.
we are the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost of daddy. We're the whole Trinity.
Yeah. If you need a daddy, won't you think of word funk?
The Triforce of all your dad needs.
Oh God. Please let's get to the next question.
All right, so Cyretha asks, Leon, do you like lumberjack matches? Parentheses, wrestling?
No.
Is this
no,
also
I mean,
a daddy thing? Hold on, first establish, because I think a lumberjack match could be a dad thing.
Okay. For anyone who doesn't know, a lumberjack match is when two guys are in the ring and 30 other guys are outside the ring. The idea to force them to stay inside the ring and settle their dispute. And if they get outside the ring, everyone will like punch them a little and then throw them back in. Like, all right, get back to there. I mean, as a storyline element, it can be fun because last week on SmackDown, there were two guys who were like, the story is that like everyone in the back hates them because they're traitors. So we're going to put you inside the ring, and all the other wrestlers are going to be around the ring in a lumberjack match. If you get out of that ring, they're going to punch you because everyone hates you. So as a storyline element, it's fine. But I can't really think of any great lumberjack matches because their movements are extremely limited, by the nature of the match itself. So, not really. No one wants to watch a lumberjack match. It's just something they do on TV, and everyone gets a payday because they all show up on television that week. That's it. That's lumberjack match. It's not as sexy as it sounds. Oh well.
It does sound very sexy.
It would, but it's just not. It's just more of them. I mean, that might be sexy to you, so what do I know?
Yeah. Okay, related question. Princess Snowin asks, do you have any hints for anyone who wants to start watching wrestling? Where should I start? I think we've had related questions before, but I've forgotten the answer, so probably our audience has too.
If you want like a show to watch that is fun, the Royal Rumble in January is usually one of the best shows of the year, because the Rumble match itself is just a lot of fun. It's like for anyone who hasn't seen one before, it goes like this. There's like 30 guys, but they don't all start in the ring because that's too many. And that would just be a lumberjack match. What happened is this. Two guys start in the ring, and then every 2 minutes, another person is added, and and eventually there's a lot of people in the ring. It doesn't end up with like 30 guys in there because you eliminate other wrestlers by tossing them over the top rope. And there's all kinds of like funny spots where someone like is flipped over the top, but they hang on to the rope and only one foot touches the floor, and that doesn't count. And sometimes someone will like fall over, but they'll land on their hands and they'll walk on their hands and it doesn't count. That has literally happened, and it was great. And all kinds of stuff like that. There's always a lot of fun surprises because there's usually like a couple like surprise entrants, like old wrestlers who hasn't been in the company in a while. It's like, oh look, it's Tatanka, and then it just happens. So it's a lot of fun. That's a great show to watch to start it, and since it's happening in January, it's not too far away. A way you might just enjoy wrestling is to watch funny wrestling shows on the internet, because it helps having fun with the culture of it. One that's like sort of been going for years and years and years and years is called Macho Mania. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's mistakes in wrestling set to music. It's very funny. Never anything like horrific, like someone like breaking their damn neck, but like people like slipping on the top rope and like whoop, like America's Funniest Home Videos, except with like in an arena with like 20,000 people watching.
Wait, hold on. Has anyone ever slipped on a banana peel? This is very important to me.
I'm almost 100% sure that in the history of wrestling, someone has slipped on a banana peel at some point.
Okay, keep going. I'm going to Google it.
Okay, you do that. But yeah, they're like goofy wrestling mistakes and people like botching their interviews and all kinds of other stuff and like goofy shenanigans. I would recommend, in order to like have fun with wrestling, you need to sort of set your expectations that this is inherently silly, and watching Macho Mania helps with that. I guess those would be the two best ways to check some stuff out on the internet and to actually watch a show. Watching Royal Rumble is not expensive like it used to be. Used to be like a pay-per-view was like a lot of money and you'd plunk it down once a month. Nowadays, WWE has the WWE Network, and it's like, I should know this. It's like $10 or $15 a month, and you get like the pay-per-view that happens that month for that cheap, but you also get like hundreds upon hundreds of hours of wrestling if you want to watch that much wrestling that month. It's like Netflix for wrestling, basically, except there are live events on it, unlike Netflix. So that's a way to get in and cheap. And there you go. Hope that helps.
Thank you, Leon. I will forget
Yeah.
that in mere moments, but
That's
it
fine.
sounded helpful.
It's cool.
So next question from @anarchomugwump on Twitter. What are your favorite nonfiction books?
Ooh, all of them. Almost all of my favorite books are nonfiction.
That helps narrow it down. I've been thinking about you a lot this week, Leon, because when I watched The Good Place, they're like, as David Hume said, and I was like,
Ooh, David Hume. Okay.
I was like,
All right.
fuck off, Leon, on this show.
You should really
Oh my
watch
God.
The Good Place. Leon. You really should.
Oh my God. See, I feel like I'm going to be like critical of it.
There's a character on the show who's just you.
Okay.
You will enjoy it. You will.
Okay. Oh, David Hume. You thought a lot of things didn't exist. Okay. So. Okay. Okay. I'll just for nonfiction books. I finished reading the Most Good You Can Do by Peter Singer. I already talked about that on the show. I am now reading A Colony in a Nation by Chris Hayes. It is about prison reform, and that's good. Most of the books I read are nonfiction because they're about politics or philosophy. Favorite nonfiction books? That is hard. Let me look at my giant Goodreads list.
I can tell you right off the bat that one of the most valuable books that I've ever read in my entire life was Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. That kind of like directly tied into some of my own struggle with depression and past suicide attempts and things like that. Frankl was a psychotherapist who was interned in Auschwitz. So the book is actually very much about like his own experiences in a concentration camp, but then also about like how just living isn't necessarily enough, but like finding yourself a reason for living. Yeah, I don't know. Like I can't do it justice. I honestly can't, but it was really important. It was a very important book for me. And I've only read it in like the last 3 years or something.
Okay. That's cool.
That's a big one for me.
All right.
Something that
I've always liked the writings of Christopher Hitchens, I gotta say, even though I sort of feel like the new atheist movement has gone tremendously wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've always liked Hitchens' writing.
I mean, one of the things that came to mind for me, and you kind of talked about a similar thing, is Night by Elie Wiesel, about his experiences during the Holocaust. And that's something that's difficult to do justice on this podcast, but is a tremendously effective work. I had to read it for school. I don't know if that's universal, but it probably should be mandatory reading. So that's one of the first things that come to mind. Probably my favorite because of who I am. I don't know if this is going to be like a very relatable thing, is The Elements of Style.
Oh, okay. Strunk and White.
Strunk and White, yeah. I probably just like pound for pound one of the best books because it's like 50 pages long and everything in it is gold. But that's also Stephen King on writing, which is
Okay.
my madness. But those are the things that came to mind for me.
Okay. Last year or so, I've been I read a lot of Richard Elliot Friedman. If you're interested in thousands upon thousands of years of Bible scholarship condensed into like a couple fairly accessible books, somehow I would check his work out. There's some good nonfiction ones. Hubris by Michael Isikoff is really good if you ever are very, very confused about the Iraq War. I found that very helpful because people just don't get it.
I've been getting
Like,
a lot into Middle Eastern politics lately because I feel like that's a thing that we all just comfortably ignore, even though we are, as Americans, directly at fault for like shattering multiple countries in the last couple administrations.
We ignore it because there's no opposition to it politically. The Democrats aren't like saying we need to pull out of all of these places, or and like in opposition to the Republicans.
Yeah.
Like historically, there were like hawks and doves, which I realize is like a great oversimplification of things. But now it's not that, and that's why it's so easy to ignore, because it's not. There's no real opposition. It's just kind of an accepted.
I mean, we talked about that a little during the primaries and stuff about when Hillary Clinton won, and it was like, well, she's not perfect, but she's better than Trump. And then it was like, part of me was like, she did have no problem with killing hundreds of thousands of Iraqis and Afghanis, and it's crazy that that's not disqualifying for the office, but okay.
But that's the thing. But they're none of them are going to. I mean, some of them will say, I would have voted against it, and that's fine. But none of them are pulling. None of them are stopping anything. If any, and I don't want to be like too shitty about our last president, because God, he wasn't great by comparison.
It's a low ass bar.
It is. But just things certainly did escalate. But what I'm trying to say is there are no doves anymore, at least in any serious with any serious political power. So it's something to ignore because nobody's. It's hard to explain.
I mean,
there's no
the
fight.
Specific details are hard to explain. The broad picture is simple. No matter who's in power, America is going to be just abominable to all kinds of other people, and if we can't stop it, I think we at least have some responsibility to understand it, or to put some kind of fucking effort into being intellectually accountable, if not physically, because we can't go and smack Obama's drones out of the sky over Yemen. He's going to kill all those people. He did. But
what was the thing I was about to say, and then I lost it? Nope, I lost it. Oh, well.
I got one more book that I am always eager to push. It's called The Pirate's Dilemma: How Youth Culture Reinvented Capitalism. That was written by Matt Mason, who was like I think a Vice magazine contributor, and has done like just a bunch of other shit. The Pirate's Dilemma was such an educational book for me, particularly on how we've managed to create this culture in which a lot of the things that people want, your music, entertainment, experiences, are available for free. But oh god, it's so I'm sorry.
Johnny, I've had a pirate's dilemma before, which is that I'm always trying to get that booty.
Yeah. That's not really a dilemma though, Austin.
It's an inevitability for Austin.
An
Come
ambition.
on.
Okay. No, it's basically about how pirate culture, about how free culture, and it doesn't even just relegate itself to digital piracy and things like that, and music and movies and shit like that. But there's one chapter dedicated to a kid who made bootleg fucking sneakers. But he was just throwing Nike logos on these sneakers, and they were just fucking years ahead of the shit that Nike was putting out at the time, so they hired him. It basically talks about how free culture, piracy culture, and actual capitalism, getting fucking money for your shit, are competing with each other at this point in time. And all this old world bullshit about content locking off shit that you're not allowed to watch because you're not in this country, or, you know, it's not this time yet, and this is the time that we have all agreed that this content is going to be unlocked, will just not fly in new markets. It won't. Like, you don't understand how easy it is to get hold of free shit, and if you're expecting to get paid for it, you need to make it available, and you need to make it, like, just cheap and easy to get.
Yeah.
Like, it's
I know.
It is, yeah, it was a really great read, actually. I really, really liked it.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Those were a lot of good books we talked about.
Yeah, we did. I feel like I cut you off when you were talking about you're reading stuff about the Middle East. Was there something else there? Did you lose it entirely?
Oh, yeah. There's another book about the escalation of our military powers and lack of control of it in the Congress also. And it's a book called Drift by Rachel Maddow, and it is also very good. It's like 5 years out of date, but it's still, you know, a lot of the historical stuff is still, you know, pretty good.
I know her.
Yeah, she's good.
From the TV.
Yeah, she's on the TV. So that's good.
Yeah.
I could go on and on about books, but we should probably go on to another question. If you want to know what I'm reading, you can just read the bibliographies of my episodes. That's basically it.
Do you have the analytics on how many people stick through that stuff? I know on some platforms.
I have the analytics on the average time watched on my episodes. But it's hard to figure. I can look at it like individually. The average time someone spends on my episodes is 7 minutes, and my episodes are 10 minutes, which doesn't necessarily mean everyone is stopping. It just means a lot of people are clicking on it at random, and then 20 seconds in saying, "I don't like this guy's voice." But the people who are actually subscribed to my channel, one assumes based on their comments, are actually watching the whole thing. I try to get that bibliography up right away as soon as the fade to black happens, so people will see it, and then I can just jump right into my spiel about how you should go to my Patreon. God damn it! Because as Johnny said, the dynamics have changed. You just got to do it.
You have to do a credits jump scare.
Yeah, everything on my show is completely free unless you don't want it to be. That's basically how Renegade Cut operates and how many shows operate. And yet it has somehow worked because my audience is cool, I guess. There you go. That's it.
Against all odds. All right, I think we have time for one more question. Tony Petura asks, I think I might be asexual. I know I should take my time defining my own sexuality, but any tips on how to be sure about it?
I'm just gonna I'm gonna jump in first here and just say that.
Thank you.
No, labels are a weird thing. You know, like. To just decide that you are one thing or another is essentially to box yourself in. And you don't have any responsibility to do that. You don't have any responsibility to identify primarily as asexual, as heterosexual, as homosexual, as anything. Like you don't owe that to the world. So the idea that it's sort of like, I feel like I have some asexual leanings, I feel like I have some asexual tendencies, that's good enough. There's nothing wrong with that. There's at no point in time do you have to prove it to other people that you are as asexual as them, or gayer than them, or transer than them. It's not up to them. You know, they don't have that power over you. They don't have that authority. So, like, whether or not you're sure doesn't... It's not really that big a deal. And if anybody ever thinks that they have the wherewithal to try to take you down a peg because they don't think that you're being asexual enough, you can tell them to go fuck themselves, because they're not the boss of you.
Yeah, I only have anecdotal stuff to add to this. I'm not an expert or anything, but I know someone who didn't know they were gay until they were like in their mid-40s. Like they already had a kid, like biologically and stuff, and they were just like, I guess this is just how I'm supposed to do life. And then you know, it didn't turn out that way. So I don't think you need to pressure yourself to do anything you don't want to do. And if eventually you kind of feel comfortable declaring a certain way, like, feel free, but nobody's timing you, I don't think. And if anybody is, that's not the kind of pressure you want in your life. That's not the kind of people you should, like, keep in your mind space, right? That's what I have to contribute. Is just like, be yourself is like such an asshole thing to say. I'm sorry, but like, just like, it's all good.
Alternate plan. Bone.
That's the shit I normally say after when anybody gives like a heartfelt speech.
You did it this time. I was waiting for it, and then you were all sincere, and I was like, "Nah, I guess I gotta do it this time." Fuck, I'll be Austin today. Look, I'm young. Okay,
it's like that time, fucking Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi switched roles for Neighbors, and it flopped terribly because everyone wanted them to be in their usual roles.
Oh my. Okay. Okay. So anyway, no. I don't have a cure all for this particular thing. Yeah. I'm like not great at talking about this. So
when does that ever stop us?
No, I mean, I'm like not great about talking about this very specific thing. But yeah, everything Johnny and Austin said was good, and I'll just co-sign it and retreat back into my little hole.
Okay. No, I'm not gonna make the little hole joke out of respect for the topic, but you guys all know it's there. So I
there sure were some holes.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So I think we're out of time.
That's it? Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Anything you guys want to say right before we go?
Krampus
is good. We didn't get around to it. People did ask about the Infinity War trailer and Coco. Yeah. Did either of you guys see those things?
I did
saw
see
the
Coco.
trailer.
Okay.
Did I mentioned Coco last week, and I talked about it.
Okay.
So that you can everyone could listen to that episode to know what I thought about Coco.
Okay. I'm just scanning the
I
questions
was good.
for like quick things you can throw out as we run out the door.
That's okay.
Did you have
it was
trailer
good.
thoughts, Johnny?
Not really, no.
Yeah.
What is there to say? Marvel's just kind of been... Like, this train has been running for a while now.
There's going to be a bad guy, and then they're going to beat him up, and then they win.
We're not, I'm not surprised. Although, it really does look like fucking Captain America there has had quite a year. Like, he looks pretty... He looks like they've dragged him out of actual reality and shoved him back into the movies, and he's like, fucking, I don't want any of this goddamn shit.
I'll be honest, I'm more excited about this movie than I have been for most Marvel stuff, just because I trust the directors involved more than most, and I like the tone that they usually go with. And it's going to have all of them, every character.
Yeah, it will.
Every goddamn character shoved into one movie. I don't know how they're going to do it. I'm interested to see how they do it. Or if they just couldn't figure it out and it's terrible. Wouldn't that be terrible? Like they couldn't figure out how to actually incorporate hundreds of these characters into one movie.
That would be really sad.
I know.
Could you imagine that? For so many years, just like building this up and trying so hard, and like, and then just being like, well, that
Yeah,
was
they've
it.
been teasing. They've been teasing all these Infinity Stone things like forever, and it's all been building to this one movie. And really, in all seriousness, it's been building to this movie and that other Avengers movie that's going to happen 1 year later. Because this is like a 2-part thing that they've decided not to call it part 1 and part 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to see it. I've already made plans to see it with a couple of friends of mine, like 6 months in advance. So I'm in, I guess.
I do like that Tom Holland.
He's a fine young man.
He is. He's such a sweet Peter Parker.
Yeah. Cool. We can end on that. Something pure.
Yeah. Sorry about all that cannibalism stuff in the middle there.
God, what was that? Why did we do that? What is
Look, I'll take the blame, all right? It's where I'm at these days, okay?
It's fine. I'm going to quote you on that.
Just like, killing, eating people, deep frying penises.
That was quite a sound. That was a sound you just made.
You gotta slurp them.